So we've got the results of the Jaguar Trophy, but before we announce the winners, the winner and the runners-up, the panel of judges, the extremely qualified panel of judges for the Jaguar Trophy included William Haynes, who's grandson of Bill Haynes, who was chief engineer of Jaguar, and perhaps something of an unsung hero at the time. We have Tim Hutton, managing editor of Classic Driver, Paul Rains, who's sales and service manager for Jaguar Classic, and Amy Shaw, who is an automotive and lifestyle photographer and part of the team as well. So indeed an august body of judges. And the three cars who made it to the final are the cars you see in front of you. So we have a Mark 1, a Mark 2 Jaguar and an E-Type as well. And I think, judges, if you're here and ready, Peter's going to take us through the results. Now the winner gets a bottle of William Heidsieck champagne. The other two get to go home and try again next year.
Well, in fact, we are going to introduce one of the judges who's going to tell us it's...
William Haynes.
It is William Haynes, in fact. So we are going to have a chat with you, and you're going to tell us a little bit more about why you selected this particular Mark 1. It's a 3.4 litre Mark 1. But tell us a bit more about why you selected it.
Well, firstly, thanks so much for letting us be here. It's a true honour to be here, naturally. Mark 1, so as a panel of judges, we decided what would we like to go home in? What car would we like to go to the pub in? And probably have a smoke on the way. So the 3.4 Mark 1 was one of the very first, if not the only first, monocoque car produced as a mass production car. So Citroën did it first, followed then by my grandfather's team did the monocoque, which is quite an amazing feat. To have a Mark 1 or a Mark 2 restored to this standard, the cost in doing it outweighs the value of the car.
Sure.
So to have a car done to this beautiful standard is remarkable. As far I may be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, last count, there's only 110 3.4 right and drive home market cars left in the world. So to have one here in this amazing colour combination, factory offset wheels, etc., is mind-blowing. These cars aren't appreciated enough, and they don't certainly get enough credit. The Mark 1 is here to stay. And I think it's probably one of the very first, and if not the best, saloon car of its day.
Well, I think we all agree. You certainly agree, don't you? And you've looked after this car yourself. You've owned the car for 11 years. You do many miles in it each year?
So have you overseen the restoration, or did it come to you in this sort of condition?
I had the paintwork all stripped and it's been resprayed, but it's a restored car.
But it's restored to use.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, you're showing it here today, which is great. But as you said, if it rains, it gets wet. So that's it's a car to be. I think we all endorse that. These things are meant to be driven, and certainly that's the ethos that everybody here would endorse. So thank you very much for bringing it. I'm sorry you don't get the bottle of champagne, but and at least you're pleased to know that whatever you spent on it, you ain't got it back if you're going to sell it. So you may as well keep it and enjoy it.
So William, we're going to look at...
Hang on a minute. Apparently you get a glass of champagne.
Oh.
But you can't drink and drive, so I think you better hand it to your co-pilot.
This is your private garden. I'm sure you can drink and drive here.
Is that for me? Oh, that's the driver. You need to get these windows to open wider. So be very careful. One shouldn't drink and drive. It's not allowed, especially if you spill it on the way. So congratulations to the Mark 1 Jaguar. Deserve it, but unfortunately runner-up in the Jaguar Trophy. So you'd like the glasses back. Can we bring the Mark 2 Jaguar, please? So William, you're going to talk us through, this is a Mark 2 Jaguar 3.8, and I think it's particularly the restoration of this car that appealed to you.
Absolutely. So here comes the 3.8 Mark 2, the one to have, the M3 of the day. What a beautiful car it is. I'll try and carry on talking about it, but basically, Mark 2s are the bank and robber cars of the 60s. You either had a 3.8 E-Type or you had a 3.8 Mark II, or probably both, one to go to work and then one to have a hoolie in, and the hoolie car was the Mark II. The cost of this car going out the factory was, they got the pricing perfect. Again, a car which you could buy on basically out on a finance lease at the time, absolutely epic car. But the gentleman who owns this car has put his lifetime into it. This trim was done by Mick Turley, who is quite frankly one of the best in the industry, and everybody who was involved in putting this car together were the best. So it's very, very, very rare to have a Mark II 3.8 built to this caliber and again used. They just don't exist, because if somebody like myself as a professional restoration company doing it, it outweighs the costs again to do this car. So to do a car to this standard is excess £150,000 plus, and so very few people have the privilege enough to build a car to this standard and then let alone use it. It's just, I personally think it outweighs everything else, because it's only passion which leads you to this quality product.
I think as well, William, I mean, in that day, the gentleman was just saying this car cost £1,800 out of the factory. It was an E-Type, it was about £1,600 at the same time. But this is a 4-seat, 4-door, luxury, sporting, gentleman's touring car. And you know, the whole point about it, I mean, it's full of luxury. I mean, it's got the proper Connolly leather, it's got the lovely wood fascias, everything you'd want from a car, and then capped with chrome wire wheels and lots of sporting features. If you wanted to go touring in a sports car, this was the car to do it. And in fact, Aston Martin didn't have anything to rival it at the time. If you think about it, they were all pretty much 2-seat or 2+2s. But this was a proper 4-seat car.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Jaguar in the 60s, you know, the Mark 1 came in 60, Mark 2 came in 61. The design team at the time to develop the E-Type, get the Mark 2 sorted, and then produce the Mark 10, all in that same period, was knockout. So, again, congratulations, it's one of my top favourites.
So may we ask how long you've owned this car?
1989.
For a few years. So have you overseen the restoration?
Well, I paid for it. No, it was really well done by two really fantastic specialists. Dave Thorpe from Dugdale Garage did the bodywork and the paintwork. Mick Turley did the interior, so they were top class people.
Well done, they're obviously good at what they do, and congratulations to you.
ISA project. The ISA project.
Okay. His ISA project, so he cashed in the ISA today. Well, congratulations. As you've heard from from William's mouth, at least you have the knowledge of knowing that it's a car you can enjoy for a long, long time. But probably don't sell it too soon because you won't get your money back, apparently. But the grandson's keeping his eye on it. So watch out, make sure Grandad doesn't bring it on the way around. So congratulations, sorry you're a runner-up, but well done on being here and well done on this wonderful motor car. Thank you.
As well, Richard, what this speaks to is home restoration. Okay, the cost of restoring a car like this would far outweigh its intrinsic value if you were to sell it. But the fact is, it maintains that spirit, it maintains that sort of practical classics spirit of motoring. And a lot of people used to do it. The standard of restoration today is so high that it's increasingly difficult for home restorers to reach those standards. It's improved infinitely over the last 10 to 15 years, and I think testament to this gentleman's skill looking at the quality of this restoration, so congratulations.
No, he didn't do it, he paid for it.
Oh, I thought...
It was his ISA.
Bit of both.
Okay, you
had two good guys to do it, he just paid for it.
You put the oil in.
Yeah. And the grandson's going to reap the benefit.
There you go. Instead he put the bolts in, he assembled the light kit and
There you go.
that could be considered home restoration.
Right, thank you very much, sir. Off you go. Well done. Congratulations.
Good point. Good point. Congratulations. Thank you.
Let's get this lovely E-Type onto the stage, shall we please? William, I think you're going to have to talk again about this in just a minute. Mr. Warman's a bit of an E-Type fan as well. And this looks gorgeous, and you hinted before it's the reason this is here. So here you go. Oh, Ollie, you again. William, tell us a bit about this car.
So my whole ethos, everything I do, E-Type wise, is preservation. These early cars aren't just early cars, they are art, and they've been overly restored over the years. Below chassis 50, and now I'm talking right again, Elizabeth Hanaraki, 850026, which this car is one of the only right and drive OBL home market cars which haven't yet to be restored. I was privileged enough to preserve chassis 26 left and drive last year, and this car, in all honesty, it has a home market car unrotten. It's been in the family of the Finbergs for 40 years. It was bought as a birthday present, and I think it's just what a beautiful modern history. And on top of that, it is probably the best OBL right and drive, in my humble opinion.
Outside bonnet lock.
Outside bonnet lock, yeah. It's to have a car of this calibre and able to be driven. I know the Finbergs are working hard to preserve it and keep it on the road, but there's so many incredible talented people out there who can restore cars which are shiny and beautiful and reliable and work. But the true honesty of it is to have preserved cars are more important because they're only restored once. So without having cars of this calibre, we don't know where the louvers stop. We don't know the depth of the chrome on the rear hood frame and the screws going into it. We don't know the spot weld count into the chassis legs and the rear firewall and the swage depth, etc., etc. And these small details, without these details, when you come to preserve and restore a car, in my opinion, it's uncredible without you've got proper reference. And without this car and cars alike, there is no reference for the further next 20 years of restoration.
I think the point as well is that these cars weren't built to last 60 years, maybe 10, but they certainly weren't built to last 60 years. And one of the downsides of the method of construction used on the E-Type, this monocoque, there's water traps everywhere, and even if you got a leak through your aerial here and you left it out in the rain, this part of the car would fill up with water, you wouldn't know what was happening, and they basically rust from the inside out. So it's so difficult to find cars, particularly in the UK market, right-hand drive cars that have survived in their complete original condition.
You're absolutely right. I mean, half my time is making new body shells so that it could cut and rot out. So when I met the Finbergs this year and they showed me the car, I've heard about the car. It's a bit like a ghost rumour, not quite sure it exists or not. And they dug it out under some sheets. But again, I honestly think deep down, out of all the E-Types in the world, if I could own one, it'd probably be this one.
And also, if you do run a restoration facility or you're restoring at home your own E-Type, it's having the chance to see a car like this, as you rightly say.
Absolutely.
Looking at the panel gaps, factory correct panel gaps, the type of screws that are used all around the car, all of those small details that matter increasingly, especially at concours events, at least those that have teams of judges everywhere, unlike us, but it's increasingly important. So, and I think the Finberg family are well known for keeping their cars a long time and keeping them in original condition. So, congratulations.
I don't think the car could be more deserving to a family than this particular car. This family will look after this car, and I think it's the best place for it.
Well, it may come as a surprise when you tell him, but are you going to announce the winner of the Jaguar Trophy?
I think it's about time. I think it's 850026. Well done.
Well done, Ollie. Well done, the Finberg family. So, would you like to make the presentation of the this bottle of champagne? They get the whole bottle. They don't
The whole bottle.
They don't get any glasses.
Do they get a straw?
It's probably lovely and warm as well. So,
there you go.
Congratulations to the winner of the Jaguar Trophy. This gorgeous and very original E-Type. Congratulations. Thank you to William, Tim, Paul, Amy for judging the Jaguar Trophy, bringing some fine motor cars up here for us to enjoy, to hear about and to meet the owners of. A great treat for us, and very fitting in this anniversary year of the E-Type. The E-Type has won the Jaguar Trophy in such a special car. It's obviously a particularly deserved winner. So ladies and gentlemen, we've got a 5-minute break, and then shortly we will be looking at the presentation.